Hello everybody, what is up? And this is Nursery coming to you guys once again for MLG TV with Game 2 of this matchup from the pool play of MLG Anaheim. First off, spawning as the blue Zerg in the 3 o'clock position. Loser of the first game, going to be looking to try and come back, and this game number 2 is going to be Machine. His opponent, winner of game number 1, showing us some very interesting styles and transitions in the game number 1, is going to be none other than the Red Protoss of Kiwikaki. This will be on the map MLG Metalopolis. Once again, close positions not possible, as in all MLG maps. Do see that Machine is sending out his first Overlord already. Going to easily be able to discern exactly where Kiwikaki's at. Send this Overlord on a nice path here. Actually should just skirt the base of Kiwikaki to get vision of it so that he actually does know that Kiwikaki is there. But actually missed moving his Overlord just a little bit. And there we go. There's the Nexus. He gets vision of it. Going to send that Overlord over there towards the front of Kiwikaki's base. And Kiwikaki once again going for the fast expand look at the front of his base with that pylon on the low ground. Do see Kiwikaki into Machine's base, going to be scouting around, seeing what he can see, and then he's going to be getting out of there. Do see he is going to be going for the hatchery block. Looked like Machine was thinking of gearing up to go for the hatch first play, but that is not going to be the case. Instead, he's going to be putting on a spawning pole, and Kiwikaki is even going to throw down a pylon. Wants to make sure Machine does not get that extremely fast hatchery once again, as that did allow Machine in game number 1 to have a pretty good position to hold off that 6-gate push that Kiwikaki did go for. So any kind of delay he can put on the hatchery will just help him that much more to get as far ahead as possible. Did see he did cancel the pylon. Machine was going to race and try and get that hatchery down, but it is not going to happen. Kiwikaki's making sure he be as annoying as possible with this probe. We do see over here at the front of Kiwikaki's base going for that same opening once again, throwing down that forge, but Machine is actually going to try and deny it here, bringing a drone over here in a bit of a slap fight there with the probe, and now Machine's going to be forced to back up. Here comes that probe. Will it kill it? Yes. Does not kill it, but he will get down the Nexus, and Machine may have delayed the Nexus for just a moment, but not actually going to delay it for all that long. Do you see over here at Machine's base, he is getting out his first queen. Pool has come up. Does have his expansion hatchery finally down, with Kiwikaki deciding he'd finally relinquish that position. We can see, if you do look at the production tab very quickly, that Machine's expansion just slightly ahead of Kiwikaki's expansion. So essentially both players, as far as the economy goes, going to be on fairly equal grounds in the early stages of the game. Kiwikaki now putting up those 2 photon cannons once again. Do very much like the placement of those cannons, do like the style play that Kiwikaki is using, going for those fast expands, but also making sure that he spends the minerals necessary to make sure he can actually defend his position. I mean, walling off very tight at the front there, not leaving a lot of places for Zerglings to actually run by without really messing up his ability to eventually get gas out of this expansion. Not even going to be taking down that low ground supply depot in case he needs to place a building there. Do see Kiwikaki running around with a probe, seeing if he can scout around, maybe even considering putting down a forward pylon, but that is not going to be the case in these early stages of the game. Do see Machine once again is going to be going for that same play he did go for the last game, where he just went for a very fast third. Going to be playing for the long game once again, not going to be trying to go all in against Kiwikaki's fast expand. Look at the income tab really quick, guys. You can see Kiwi with a slight lead, 23-20, but just as I say that, Machine builds a couple more drones, and now it's all back even up, and Machine's even one ahead. So right now, economy is very similar. Supplies, not quite as similar. But we do see that as far as harvesters counts go. Right now, both players in a very, very, very close position as far as where they are at this stage of the game. Do see that first gateway is down, getting up his cybernetic score as well. Going to probably be teching right after that, adding that third cannon once again to his front just to make him secure from any kind of all-ins that Machine could potentially put towards him. But Machine right now just kind of chilling out, not really doing a whole lot just yet. Has finally just started mining his extractor. You can see he's just taking a couple of little hits off that extractor. They do hold 2,500 gas, so just a few little mining trips have been done, so probably going to be teching up soon will be Machine. We'll see if he goes for that link speed and that Roach Hydra Infestor composition once again, or maybe he'll try and change it up this game, do something different. Definitely something like a Mutalist play or something like that could potentially be pretty strong in these positions. These are close air positions, so that would be an interesting way for Machine go. Have seen some players go for that Ling muted type of style, and when you are able to get up 3 fast bases because your opponent's fast expands, you do have that opportunity. But with as late as this gas is, I'm not entirely expecting Machine to go that route, but we'll have to wait and see. Although I wouldn't mind seeing it, to be totally honest, because I do like the Muta play, especially on this map and in these positions. There's a lot of angles Mutas can come in at. You see the Link speed going down. He is going to be getting that Evolution Chamber once again as well. Wants to be able to defend against any kind of air or DT type shenanigans that Kiwikaki could try and go for. A couple of Links going to be moving forward. Going to try and get at this Stalker, but that's not going to be the case. And the Stalker is actually going to make them pay for it. Picks off one of the Lings, and then they will be forced to retreat. Kiwikaki once again going for the exact same play as the last game, only this time Machine has not yet scouted it. But once again, Machine, with absolutely brilliant timing, is going to get into Kiwikaki's base right as those 5 additional gateways go down, and Machine will be privy once again to exactly what Kiwikaki is doing. So Machine should be more than prepared for this potential 6-gate push, assuming Kiwikaki goes through with it. Roach Swarm already just about to pop, so he'll be able to start adding roaches, and will have that Link speed as well. Has started mining from a lot more of his gases, even getting the +1 carapace upgrade for his unit started. +1 ground attacks will finish up shortly for Kiwikaki, but as we can see, income-wise, Machine looking much better this game. 63 harvesters to 44 right now. Huge lead for Machine over Kiwikaki, and here comes Kiwikaki once again with that exact same composition. Going to be going with the 7 Zealots and the 1 Stalker and that forward probe, and going to be looking to do some major damage to Machine, possibly deny his third base if he can. No Spinecrawler at the third for Machine this time around. Instead, going to be getting up 2 Spinecrawlers over here at the natural, as that is the most likely attack path for Kiwikaki. Do see Kiwi getting up that initial pylon so that he can warp in more units. Creep Tumor still right on the edge there. Minx Tower goes down by Machine. Wants to get that out of his way. Doesn't want to potentially misclick. That's just one of those little things that pro players do that you got to be mindful of. And he's going to actually get the probe, so that is actually pretty huge. Takes down the probe. Won't allow Kiwikaki to get up any more additional pylons. And it looks like Kiwi's actually just going to back off behind this. Has actually placed down 2 Stargates early this time. So it looks like Kiwi just wanted to threaten to go for the 6th gate, but that is actually not going to be his attention at all as he's gearing up to take his third. But here comes a whole bunch of Lings for Machine, and they should be able to actually pick off this probe and this Zealot with good management. And yes, there goes down the probe. Zealot is about to go down. Now going to be trying to go after the Stalker. Should at least get the Stalker before they have to retreat, and there they go. Now they're going to retreat. No way they can take on that many Zealots. Looks like Machine's going to be trying to hold this position as long as possible to slow down Kiwi from taking a 3rd expansion. Here goes the last couple of those Lings, and now they're going to be forced to retreat back, and Kiwi will be able to finally try and put up that expansion. We can see, though, that Machine has gotten up his gases at his 3rd base. Do have the economy 64 harvesters to the 50, so Kiwi's starting to catch back up a little bit, but right now Machine's still ahead in harvesters. But here comes that Phoenix play once again. Kiwikaki chrono boosting out. Phoenix is left and right. Going to have a lot of Phoenixes up very shortly. Also adding a robotics facility onto this. Still getting his ground upgrades, getting his now ground armor level 1. You see Machine throwing down the Spore Crawlers in his mineral lines to prepare for the inevitable transition that Kiwikaki will make, even getting up expansion, and this time taking a much faster 4th base. So I do like this play for Machine. Much more economically focused, a lot better backbone with his economy as well, and now getting up the Infestation Pit and the Hydrostun once again. So going to be going for that exact same play that he went for last time. And now we do see that Kiwikaki's moving into grass, but at the same time, here comes Machine with a bunch of roaches and Lings, trying to get into the natural Kiwikaki. And will Kiwikaki be able to hold here? Bringing all of his units back over here to try and do damage to these roaches and Lings that are actually just running amok around his base. Now here finally comes the Phoenixes to start lifting up some of these units. No Hydroliths in this composition, so these Phoenixes will be extremely effective against these roaches and Lings. But it does look like Machine is going to actually clean up most of the ground forces of Kiwikaki, and all Kiwikaki is going to be left with is these Phoenixes and nothing more. But now here comes in a wave of Zealots, and it looks like Kiwi is going to hold this Roach Ling counterattack that Machine did gear up to go for. Kind of a little bit of a timing push situation. We do look at the workers killed as this battle is finishing up. But you see Machine has killed 5 workers, most of which were actually scouting probes and or probes that Kiwi was putting forward to actually just try and do some scouting and or for our pylons for his pushes. You see Kiwi now has his 3rd base almost completed, but Machine does have his 4th up. 3rd looking very strong. Look at the income tab once again. We see right now we have Machine with 70 harvesters, just a 58 of Kiwikaki. And now here comes Kiwikaki with that Phoenix Harass, killing off a couple of Overlords. No Spore Crawlers actually able to hit these. No Hydralisks in the area. 13 Hydralisks are on the way, though. Here comes the first couple Hydralisks, and there goes that awesome lift micro once again from Kiwikaki. Going to be lifting up a couple of those units, but now actually mismanaging those units for just a brief moment as the Machine was moving forward with a lot of his forces, but now Kiwikaki is going to be actually forced to retreat once again as Machine going for a lot of counterattack style of play in this matchup to try and keep Kiwi from just harassing him relentlessly like he did in the previous game. Might have been one of the mistakes he noticed he made in Game 1, allowing Kiwi to just harass him so much that he got bottled up, wasn't stopping Kiwikaki from expanding. Kiwikaki even took a greedy double expand at one point. Now we do see that +1 air weapons upgrades once again coming from Kiwi, so identical builds for both players once again, with the small difference that right now Machine does actually still have a better economy than Kiwikaki. Now getting up some more Hydralisks, even throwing out Spore Crawlers at all these bases to try and help him defend from those Phoenixes, although no Spore Crawlers over here at this third, so that actually would leave that third a little bit vulnerable. But here comes a lot of Hydralisks for Machine, going extremely Hydra heavy. Now a couple of misrallied Overlords getting finally cleaned up here by Kiwikaki. You do see in Kiwi's base, he still does have those 2 Stargates as a robotics facility producing some Immortals. Has not added any other tech just yet to his build, so his build has been slowed down a little bit compared to the last game, where he was much further along in his progression. And now here comes that harassment by Kiwikaki again, picking up individual units, picking up all the Hydralisks, going to try and take them down here, but here comes the rest of the units by Machine. That is going to force Kiwi to retreat, at least for now. Absolutely essential that Kiwi keeps these Phoenixes alive and does some good harass, because he does not really have all that many ground units at all to actually defend his base if he were to lose all of these Phoenixes. So basically 100% relying on these Phoenixes, but I do like this play because he's doing a very good job of keeping Machine bottled up. Yet another misrally Overlord will go down. Immortals now on the way. Now we do see Kiwi adding on a Twilight Council, adding on those 4 more gateways, going to be going up to 10 gateways once again, and the Twilight Council. I would not be surprised to see him add that Templar Archives and eventually that Dark Shrine down in the future, but now we see Machine actually looking like he's thinking about pushing out, but it looks like Machine is going to actually turn around, at least for the moment. Here comes a couple of more Infestors, and now Machine's going to be pushing forward, just now starting to +1 ground weapons upgrade for his units, so once again getting a little bit behind Kiwi on the ground upgrades, but right now it's not looking that bad for Machine because he does have a very substantial force. Kiwi is going to be forced to turn around these Phoenixes over here at the bottom, because here comes Machine with a huge push, going to be pushing into the natural Kiwikaki, and Kiwikaki could be in some real trouble. Does not really have the ground units capable of dealing with this army, and now the Infestors get off an awesome fungal growth on Kiwikaki's units, and take away a lot of those shields from those units, just about as effective as the EMP, but now here comes Kiwikaki with that lift micro once again, picking up all the Infestors and Hydralisks, and now starting to transition into picking up the Roaches. Could Machine end up having the same thing happen to him that he had last game, where every time he pushed, Kiwi just practically lifted his entire army up off the ground? But now here comes some forces from the natural Machine to the natural Kiwikaki to reinforce. Going to be taking out one of those Immortals, probably going to be taking out a second. Kiwi getting distracted for just a moment here, but right now he is losing his expansion Nexus over here at his natural, and now he could even potentially lose his third as well. Kiwikaki is looking like his economy is going to be in shambles after this attack, but it looks like he might just barely hold us, but losing a lot of probes in the process. All of these Phoenixes hanging out here, actually not lifting these. Looks like he's just going to leave the Zealots to finish cleaning this up, as they will. But now over here at the natural Kiwikaki, the Nexus has gone down. Now going to be taking down the Cybernetics Core, and Kiwikaki is in real danger of having a lot of Machine forces just running straight into his base. Immortal comes out now, trying to morph it in Overseer as well. Dark Shrine going down for Kiwikaki over here in his main to try and hold this off, but he does not have those Dark Templars like he did in Game 1, and it has made all the difference for Machine. This reinforcements stringing in are doing so much damage to Kiwikaki. Looking at the workers killed, the Machine up to 38 workers. Kiwikaki just at 10. Kiwikaki's killed a lot of units, but Machine is wearing him down slowly but surely. 75 harvesters right now for Machine, 61 for Kiwikaki. Machine still just running off of 4 bases though, empowering units as fast as he can, and now they're getting into the main of Kiwikaki. Those Immortals should actually clean up these Roaches by themselves pretty darn easily, but now here comes some links to support. That'll help out these Immortals quite a bit. Now the Dark Shrine has completed, Kiwikaki can start warping in Dark Templars to try and hold this off, force Machine to get some detection before he continues to push. But now Machine, as you can see, is starting to make progress over here at the third, and also reinforcing all of his forces to the fourth here of Kiwikaki, and Kiwikaki is just taking damage all over the map right now. Third might be going down shortly. Do have that fourth in danger. Dark Templars getting warped in everywhere to try and deal with the units of Machine, but it looks like Machine still might be able to get down this third. Do not think he'll be able to get down this fourth. It's going to be extremely close. Do see that third now getting extremely leaked down to 100 hit points, and will the third go down, or will the DT's clean up time? No, third will go down. Third goes down for Machine. leaping ahead here compared to Kiwikaki, who is right now just trying to defend and hold on to his 4th base, but losing all of his harvesters. And I do not believe he's going to have too much economy left after this attack by Machine. Even if he can clean it up with this last DT, he should actually manage to just barely hold this base. So if we look at the income tab, we can see right now 71 harvesters from Machine to just the 31 of Kiwikaki. So essentially Machine has broken Kiwikaki here, and Kiwi is going to be in some huge trouble. He's going to need to get a lot of harassment done with this flock of Phoenixes if he is going to have any hope of staying in this game. Can't see Machine already reinforcing in a ton of units, more Hydras, more Infestors on the way. Kiwikaki actually poking in towards the 5th Machine, but then just backing up. It's not going to actually press that. So Kiwi will ultimately hold and not be completely out of the game just yet, but not in a very good position at all either. Right now, economy in shambles, has lost 2 of his expansions. He's going to have to be trying to find a way to recover and get himself back in this game, but I do know if that is going to be possible. You can already see Machine up to 140 supply compared to just the 81 of Kiwikaki. Here comes those Phoenixes picking off an Overlord. Not going to even attempt to go for the mineral line here. So just sharking around the map is these Phoenixes, and I'm sure Kiwikaki is trying to decide exactly what his next move is going to be, because with his economy taking that much of a hit by that timed attack by Machine, getting in there just before the DT Shrine could go down in this game, Machine has just done so much damage to Kiwikaki. I do not think he's going to actually be able to recover, but stranger things have happened, people, so we will have to wait and see if Kiwikaki can actually pull this off, take game number 2, and end this series in a 2-0, or will Machine be able to clean this game up and force them into a game number 3? Changelings galore on the way now for Machine towards the base of Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki's going to be completely scouted by Machine. I'm sure these are going to get spread out all over the map. Machine will have great vision of everything Kiwikaki's up to. Now turning into Zealot's going to be patrolling over here, see exactly what Kiwi's next move is going to be. Should actually see that Kiwi is trying to re-put up this base, get his economy back in order, and Machine's just going to be taking his 5th base down here. Do see the Phoenixes will spot that base going up, but to what purpose is it really going to serve at this point in the game, because Kiwikaki is taking just so much damage. Tons of Overseers getting warped in. Hive Tech on the way. Do see Machine getting the finishing up, I should say, the 2-2 upgrades for his ground units now. Kiwikaki just in shambles all over the place, stuck at 1-1 upgrades, so now falling behind in upgrades from Machine. Now here comes a bunch of Lings, going to retake this, unlock a tower, and here comes a giant push from Machine. Tons of Infestors, full energy Infestors at that, and no High Templar or anything like that for Kiwikaki to actually deal with these Infestors as they march forward on the map. He has now gotten up to Templar Archives, is just now starting Storm, so he will be able to warp in a couple of High Templar if he so chooses, but actually going to be morphing a lot of these units into Archons, and he's going to basically be holding with Immortal Archon against this huge Infestor Hydralis army. I just do not think this is going to work. Here comes the Lings now. Here comes the Infestors, and the Neural Parasites going down, taking over several of Kiwikaki's Archons. But now Kiwikaki is going to be pressing forward, kills all those Infestors, lifting once again, trying to do as much as he can with as a few units as he has. And now the Infestors, as you can see, burrowing to hide from Kiwikaki's forces, throwing down a ton of Infested Terran. And the Infested Terran are actually going to be the heroes in this battle, and are going to clean up most of the ground forces of Kiwikaki here. Kiwi right now trying to lift the rest of Machine's units if he can, but trying to just kill them all off. Now warping in some Overseers so that Kiwi cannot hold this with just Dark Templars. And here comes the Infested Terran, now doing damage to the Nexus as well. Most of them are going to run out of energy soon and die. Looks like Machine's just going to be trying to suicide these units and pick off this Nexus if he can, but that is not going to be the case. And Kiwi will actually amazingly hold this attack with some great blink, or lift micro, I should say, from those Phoenixes. But now here comes more reinforcements from Machine, and Machine's basically just going to be producing units and sending them straight towards Kiwi's base. But great lift there by Kiwi once again. We'll get all these roaches and clean them up, and it looks like Machine's going to actually retreat for now. 5th base has gone up for Machine, and it looks like Kiwikaki maybe just now starting to form himself a comeback in this game. Has not retaken his natural. I'm not really thinking he's going to. That is very low on minerals. If anything, he'll probably take the gold base or this base expansion over here if he does go for another base. And now here comes the DTs. Going to be moving towards the 4th and 5th bases of Machine. Will Machine actually notice this? Spore Crawler is going to poke at these Dark Templar a couple of times. And now we see Spore Crawler going up and a Spine Crawler over here in the base of Machine here at his 5th. DT is going to be able to get some kills at the bare minimum, though. Killing a lot of drones, going to force Machine to pull those back. And now here comes the Roaches and Infestors. Those Infestors can, if they get off of Fungal Growth, kill this Dark Templar, but they don't even need to because the Overseers spot it. And down it goes. Kiwikaki spreading out the other Dark Templar, though, in the base. I do like that move by Kiwikaki, but the real issue is still that the economies of Machine is in such better condition right now. 69 Harvesters still compared to the 51 of Kiwikaki, but Kiwikaki starting the inklings of maybe getting a comeback, even starting his upgrades once again, starting that ground weapons level 2. But right now he basically just has Phoenixes for army, has almost no ground units whatsoever, just trying to focus directly on his economy for basically all of his units, and just now turning a couple of DTs into Archons. But here comes another huge push by Machine, and Kiwikaki's going to try and lift all the Infestors, but right now getting off a couple of fungal growths here on these Phoenixes. Now going to be lifting the Infestors once again. Wants to try and get all these Infestors if he can, because the Infestors are such a huge unit in Machine's army to take out. A couple of fungal growths going on, a couple of Phoenix are going down. Here comes some more Infestors to try and reinforce, throwing down just a few of these infested Terran that are going to kill off a lot of the Phoenixes of Kiwikaki, and now Machine's going to be attacking the 4th of Kiwikaki. It does look like Kiwikaki cannot hold this. No, the 4th base will go down. He has started a 5th base over here at the top of the map, but now Machine's just going to take that as good damage, and he's going to start to retreat here, trying to do some damage to these Phoenixes if he can. These infested Terran being absolute heroes, taking out a lot of these Phoenixes. Just 2 Phoenixes now of Kiwikaki's initial giant gaggle of Phoenixes now remaining. You see the +3 weapons upgrade for those roaches, or his ranged units coming now for Machine. Has not gotten the armor started up just yet, but really doesn't need it. Does have Hive Tech, but has actually not started any Spire or Ultralisk Cavern just yet, so basically just going to Hive for the +3 upgrades. And now here comes a ton more roaches and infestors for a Machine. He has banked so many minerals and gas that he can basically just keep reproducing his entire army and just forcing Kiwikaki to keep trying to defend and waste army of his own. Machine will now scout this base over here and throwing down a couple of roaches into the mineral line with a drop. Going to see if he can do some damage here. Burrows one of the roaches, now trying to attack these Zealots a little bit, and they will actually pick off that Overlord, so these units won't be able to retreat. Did burrow one though, don't know if Kiwikaki is actually going to be aware of that. Now they are going to actually kill off the rest of these roaches. This one roach does survive. Took a little bit of damage from the splash and actually will go down, as here comes some observers from Kiwikaki to help clean that up. So now Machine gearing up, it looks like, to go to a Roach Infestor push here. Did see him do that in the last game to no success, but also was extremely far behind in economy. So this could definitely be the killing blow that he needs. And once again, guys, we do see now finally the Hive Tech is on the way. Ultralisk Cavern just now completing, starting the +3 Carapace and the +1 melee attacks. As now, here we go, Machine planning to move out and attempt to deal the killing blow to end this game against Kiwikaki, who's been so resilient in this game, has been slowly working his way back in this, even got this 4th base and this 5th base up. Now if we look at the income tab, Kiwikaki clawing his way slowly back into this, now up to 62 Harvesters compared to the 68 of Machine. Machine can just not quite put Kiwikaki away and end this game. But right now, Machine is maxed, now going to even be taking the gold base, is the last base that Machine really can theoretically take. Kiwikaki never having gotten back up this natural. Not sure I'd necessarily call that a mistake, but he maybe could have thrown down a base to get that little bit of extra mining. Could have helped him a little bit, but I think Kiwikaki's doing just fine right now because he has been in a near-death situation for so long, but has been managing to scrape and hold himself into this game. But the biggest problem he's going to have right now is the Phoenix count is now basically down to 0. No Phoenixes left. Purely Zealots, Archons, some Immortals, DTs, and High Templar, throwing down the feedbacks on some of the Infestors, but a lot of these Infestors still have a lot of energy, throwing down the fungal growths on the units of Kiwikaki, and I do not think Kiwikaki is going to be able to hold this time without those Phoenixes. And right now, Machine smashing through Kiwikaki's army. Kiwikaki's supply dwindling, Machine actually reinforcing. The Titanius plating now just about to finish up for Ultralisk, should he decide to switch into Ultras. And right now it does look like Kiwikaki might amazingly just barely hold this push once again, but there goes down to GG. Kiwikaki finally taps out. Absolutely excellent game by both players. Kiwi nearly came back several times in this game, was just barely holding on. Could have tried to get back in the game, but couldn't quite do it. So we're going to be moving to a game number 3, guys. So I will see you guys at that game. This is Nerdsky saying I'm out now for MLG TV.